go jump back in time. Look at the last 5 years of gacha announcements. Fantasy kingdoms, floating islands, magical continents. That used to be the default. Now scroll through anything launching in 2026 and the pattern is different. Now it's modern cities, skyscrapers, traffic, vending machines, neon signs in language you actually recognize. NTE did it. Ananta is going to do it. Wang Yue, Silver Palace. Half the games on every upcoming gacha list right now, all urban open world. And that got me thinking. That has to be a business decision. But why is that? Well, first of all, a fantasy open world means every region needs its own invented architecture, its own culture, its own rules for how magic or physics work. Every patch, the art team is designing a place that has never existed anywhere from scratch. A modern city already exists. Your concept artists aren't inventing a skyline. They're just reinterpreting one. Convenience stores, subways, rooftop bars, alleyways. The reference material can sometimes be a 5-minute walk outside of the studio. But don't take that for any sort of laziness. It means the baseline cost of does this feel real, which actually drop enormously. And the budget that used to go into pure world invention can go into combat system, animation quality, or content cadence instead. And I would rather them have more production cost into combat than the city itself. Yeah, and it can be boring sometimes, but having the combat to carry the entire depth can be very rewarding. And here is the part that actually matters more to the publisher than to players. In a fantasy world, a character's outfit has to make sense inside the lore of the biome. You're talking robes, armor, faction colors. In a city, a character can just wear streetwear. A jacket, sneakers, sunglasses, that's much wider and cheaper, much faster to produce cosmetic pipeline. And it maps directly onto a real fashion trends players are already having a taste and opinions about. And Ananta is the one who is leaning into this directly. Its entire monetization is going to be built around cosmetics, outfits, and vehicle rather than pure gacha pulls. And that is definitely not an accident. Urban settings are a monetization-friendly canvas in a way floating fantasy islands never were. Neverness to Everness also tried to do this, but they forgot to take away the character gacha. There's also a different topic in regards to events. A fantasy kingdom can't run a Halloween event that feels native to its world. You have to bolt a spooky season onto lore that was never built for it. A modern city can change whatever it wants. If we are during the Christmas season, guess what? Snow will fall down. Christmas lights will shine up. It can have real festivals, real seasons, real brand collabs opportunities because it is built on a calendar player actually live inside. Ananta even builds this into its core loop. Your character can go viral on an in-game social media system, turning real internet culture into part of the gameplay itself. And that's also a mechanic NTE added recently, the bagel system. But the bagel system would be more like Instagram. A lot of pictures. Meanwhile, Ananta has a mechanic that is only possible because the setting is recognizably our world. You cannot build a go viral system in a world where social media doesn't exist. Also, I don't know if we're just tired of the fantasy world, but the appeal shift is happening too. A huge chunk of audience that made Genshin a phenomena wanted escapism, a world nothing like their own. But the audience that's grown up alongside Gacha for the last 6 years is also the audience that grew up on GTA, on Persona, on Yakuza. Games where the fantasy isn't just leave your world alone, and it's more like become someone cooler inside a world you can recognize. Also, I'm not sure if other big AAA games are making a dent into this. For example, games like GTA 6 nearing its launch, but the urban open world gacha is aiming at that second fantasy. You're not just an adventurer from another realm. You're a specialist, an investigator, a courier, someone extraordinary living in a city that looks like the one outside of your window. That might be an emotional hook for some people who never get into the pure high fantasy gacha, which they might not be responding to. But it's not all positive. Fantasy world have a huge advantage urban setting give up. Nothing looks derivative. A floating continent can look like nothing else on the market. A modern city, no matter how well art directed, is competing for a specific visual identity against every other modern city gacha. But right now, there's a risk of the urban gacha sameness. Different characters, same rooftops. Different streets, same convenience stores. Different vehicles, but the same visuals. The setting that is cheaper to build and easier to monetize is also the setting that is hardest to make instantly recognizable. Looking at this location, you can definitely recognize that this is Mondstadt from Genshin Impact. And looking at this, you can definitely say that this is Jinzhou. The ones that will win will be the ones that find something very specific enough to make them recognizable inside the city. So why is Gacha going urban? Let me just summarize everything. Easier to monetize through fashion or even vehicle skins. Very easy to tie into the real world culture, and it would be chasing a real different kind of player fantasy. This is just business. Does that mean the games are bad? No, absolutely not. NTE's urban open world is one of the best things it does. I just hope the games that will come out in the next year will have a very specific identity that will make them unique from all of the other urban gacha games. But until that happens, we will just have to wait, and you will have to subscribe because you will be waiting for my next video. Anyway, my name is Valian. I'll see you guys at the next one.